During the debate, I saw a lot of people talking about women's health care without actually having ever experienced those services themselves. And I think that when you talk about health care, you forget that there are a lot of women who can't afford basic standardized health services, and that Planned Parenthood is one that provides those things. I also think that there's a lot of victim blaming going on and a lot of shame surrounding sexual assault and rape in this country, and I felt the need to take my experiences and speak out about them to try to put a face to what is going on within this legislative battle.
Tell us a little bit about your personal experience. You know, you go into it a lot in the video.
Yeah, when I was 17, I was not ready to have sex yet, and I was pretty clear about that, discussing with the man I was dating at the time. He was a bit older than I was. We had several conversations, but he wasn't really satisfied with that response, I guess. And when I went to his birthday party one night, he decided to pressure me to drink until I was very sick, and as I said in the video, his friends put me to bed and I woke up with him on top of me. And it was a pretty violent situation, despite the fact that I wasn't fighting back, which I think is an important distinction to make. And afterwards, you know, it took a long time for me to develop a coherent way of thinking about that experience. I didn't really deal with it until I was about 20 years old. And after that, I went through a period of not really knowing how to process what happened, but I think at this point I would rather talk about what's happened to me, because I've received a lot of responses, especially from my video, where people have experienced really similar things, and I think that's a problem, that there's no discussion happening about it.
What was the reaction from your family? Did they know about what had happened to you?
I didn't tell my family until they saw the video, actually, and I told my mom about a year ago on my birthday, actually, and just the basics, really. And other than that, nobody in my family knew. So I've seen a lot of comments online from my family members saying they support me, and I've gotten some phone calls. The most remarkable of which was my brother, who was really upset by my video, but it was a really great conversation to have with him, because he's a freshman in college right now, and I think that it really sort of shook him to see that happen to me.
What would you say to lawmakers who are opposing funding? What would you say to them about why it is so crucial that Planned Parenthood receive federal funding?
What I would say is that I think it's overly simplistic to treat this debate about one medical service. I think that in this country we have a significant responsibility to take note of the poor and the disadvantaged, and by removing funding to promote a budget cut that will, this funding does not affect the budget in any significant way, but it does affect thousands of women who can't afford regular health care. And more often than not, I find that women go to Planned Parenthood for their primary health care rather than for crisis situations like abortion or rape, like I did. So I would implore lawmakers to look at the human side of things and to have a sense of dignity and responsibility for the people that they represent.